The need for this curriculum is something that you've testified about the lack of education around the API community, and we've seen a couple states now requiring the teaching of this history in public schools, but we still have a long ways to go. And you've talked about the need to be able to infuse these stories throughout different parts of society. You obviously have a huge platform as a longtime journalist yourself. I work for a news outlet, but what more do you hope to see done to fill in those gaps? Education is, of course, one aspect. What more, do you hope to see?
Well, there have been some incredible developments over the last few years. I mean, we're starting to see Asian faces in leading roles in pop culture, which is really exciting. I mean, I've been in this business for over 30 years. I started when I was quite young, and there were so few. I mean, I felt like for so long I was one of the only ones. And frankly, the only reason I pursued broadcast journalism is growing up, there was one Asian person on a national stage, and that was Connie Chung. And she allowed me to know what was possible. And I would venture to guess that if you asked most Asian American journalists of my generation, we would all cite Connie Chung as our inspiration because, again, she allowed us to know that this is something that we could do. And so increasingly, we're starting to see more Asian American faces. We're seeing more Asian American faces in politics, which is just awesome to see. We have so many incredible political leaders who are just so assertive and um, just Tammy Duckworth, Mazie Hirano, Ted Lieu here in California. And had a conversation with Ted Lieu, my congressman, actually, and he said, even though there aren't many of us in Congress, if there were the 13 of us during World War II in these seats, he said, I don't think that we would have seen 120,000 Japanese Americans become interned during World War II. So things are changing, and I do think that out of this crisis, a movement has really been kicked off where Asian Americans who have stayed silent in most cases or been afraid to speak out are unwilling to remain silent any longer.